Continuing our series, Bad Role Models in the Bible That People Think Are Good. Oh, and this one is a doozy. Because many people are going to church, and in church there's always that great sermon. Ladies, you got to find your Boaz. Men, you got to find your Ruth. Let's talk about Ruth and Boaz. Now, right off the bat, the only reason that Ruth and Boaz are considered to be role models in the Bible is because through the line of Ruth and Boaz, they had Obadiah, Obadiah had Jesse, Jesse had David, and David had Solomon, and Solomon had, and it goes all the way up to Jesus. And that is the only reason that people think Ruth and Boaz are good people. But let's look at what they really did according to your Bible. So when you read the book of Ruth, which is where you'll find their story. So Ruth was just a woman. She was a Moabite woman who married a young Jewish man, young Hebrew man. Before they can have a baby, though, the man dies. So did her brother, so did her brother-in-law, and so did the father-in-law. So Ruth and Oprah were married to these two brothers. Oprah decides to go back to her people. Ruth says, nope, I'm going to stay with you. What was her name? I forgot her name. Naomi. I'm going to stay with you, Naomi. And I'm going to make your people, your God, my God. So Ruth was a woman who didn't want to go back to her family, and she just decided she was going to switch gods to be with Naomi, which is very interesting. She didn't switch gods when she was with Naomi's son, but because she wanted to stay with Naomi, she wanted to switch gods. Now, I've literally heard a pastor get up there and say that Ruth and Naomi were in a lesbian relationship. I'm not validating that. I'm not saying that that's true. But I actually heard a pastor who said that Ruth and Naomi were in a lesbian relationship, and that is why Ruth went with Naomi and was willing to switch over her God because she was with Naomi and didn't want to go back to her people. Maybe her father wasn't treating her right. Maybe her people weren't treating her right. Maybe that's why she didn't want to go back. But they said that they were lesbians. That's what this one pastor said, just one pastor. Not that there's anything wrong with that. People do whatever they want to do. Love who you want to love. Ruth and Naomi stayed together, and Ruth was taking care of Naomi. She would go out to the fields and she would glean the leftover wheat, which is perfectly fine. She was a hardworking woman. But then Ruth recognized that, Boaz was checking her out. Boaz seemed to be an older gentleman. Wife is not around. Kids are all grown and gone, I'm guessing, based on the story, since they're not mentioned. And good old Ruth says that, this old man is checking me out, and he got money. He got money. So Naomi said, girl, you got to dress yourself up real nice. Take a bath. Get yourself with some nice spices on your body. And what I want you to do is go in late at night, because we know that after the work day is over, old Boaz go into the wheat press and lay there and get drunk. So I want you to dress up real nice, get all that good smell good on you, and go in there and lay at the bottom of his feet, submit to him. And so she did. She went the whole gold digger route and laid at the bottom of his feet. And when you read between the lines, good old Boaz, he got that young poom poom. Because see, beforehand, Boaz had noticed Ruth, and he was telling his man, hey, leave her a little something. Leave her some of that good wheat. Go and get her what she needs. Pay that rent. Buy that car. He was sugar daddying her. And that sugar daddying worked. The next thing you know, Ruth is laying at the bottom of his feet. He got some of that good poom poom, that good Moabite poom poom. Y'all remember what happened at Horeb when them men got some of that good poom poom from the Israelites? Ooh-wee! They got that good poom poom from the Moabites. Them Israelite men turned over. They started worshiping their gods. That was a good poom poom there. And Moses had to kill a whole bunch of them for doing so. So he got that good poom poom, but he told her, don't tell nobody. This is a secret. This is a secret love affair. Keep it to yourself. So what does he do? He realizes that since no man of the elders have taken on Ruth and Naomi, and that some man needs to, because they are just two women who will have to be taken care of by the community, and they want their community to be strong. He knows that one of his elder cousins it has first dibs, rather. But he not took that poom poom. But he knows that he has first dibs. So they have a little meeting. And in the meeting, he straight swerved that dude. We got to do something about this Naomi and Ruth. There's an inheritance of land, but of course they're women, so they can't take the inheritance. So even though according to your Bible, the women are supposed to be able to take the inheritance, if he had daughters, but since he didn't have daughters, he had sons. The wives couldn't take the inheritance. So the land was just left there. They couldn't take it. So he tells old boy, hey, you need to take on this young woman. He didn't say nothing about Naomi, but you need to take on this young woman. And you know this young woman is going to want some children. Well, his elder family member is like, man, I don't want to deal with no kids. And he was telling him, I know you older. You probably don't want to deal with kids and the energy of a young woman. And the old man was like, yeah, you know, you're right about that. I kind of don't want to deal with that. So he said, well, I mean, I guess I could take on her, you know. So what did he do? He passed him his left shoe as a sign of a contract and agreement. And he passed that left shoe to him as a sign. And then he took on Ruth and he took on Naomi. Now he got that young pom-pom. So basically, what is this story about? This story is about a woman who is willing to give up her gods just to be with another woman. This story, and it could have just been friends, just had a great relationship. Doesn't mean they were lesbians, according to that, not like that pastor said. This story is about a young woman who, initially she was all right, but then she started seeing that this old man wanted to be her sugar daddy. And so she took advantage of him wanting to be her sugar daddy, and she gave him some of that good poom-poom. You see, y'all talk about saving yourselves. Ruth didn't save herself. Ruth said, I got some sugar, and he gonna be my daddy. And when they did, knowing the rules and the regulation, Boaz went straight and did a grift on his family member in order to keep getting that good young sugar, that good young poom poom. So women, when you're walking around saying, I'm looking for my Boaz, really what you're saying is that you're looking for your sugar daddy. That's all you're looking for. You're looking for a sugar daddy. You're not looking for love. You're not looking for respect. You're not looking for communication. You're not looking for commitment. You're looking for a sugar daddy who knows how to swerve and grift so that he can get what he desires. Because in all his actions, he was giving to Ruth in order to hopefully gain her attention so that she can then be his, and then swerved everybody else into thinking that he was making a great sacrifice for the community. So is that what you want? And dudes, when you say you're looking for your Ruth, you want a woman that only wants you for your money? Because you old. She young. You just want a little eye candy, a little good piece of strange, that little Moabite strange. That's what you want? When you say you leave Ruth, a woman who would give up her poom poom just because you gave her some extra wheat? Yeah. I don't want a Ruth, and I sure hell ain't no damn Boaz. So tell me what you guys think. And always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.